Welcome back to Black Mother Talk. I'm the complete wreck,
I'm Jazz the Gemini.
and we are so excited to be back today because we got a special guest. You know, we love having guests. So, special guest, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, I am Stacey Crawley and I am super excited to be here with you guys.
Yes, we're so excited to have you. So, Stacey, we wanted to talk to you today about our mommy mental health. I mean, it's something that I think all moms can relate to. Whether you struggle with depression or you struggle with anxiety or just, regular old stress or
Being overwhelmed.
yeah, just being
Overworked.
overwhelmed. I think we all, as moms, mental health is like a trigger for us. It's a key thing that we're always looking for some advice or looking for coping mechanisms. So we're just really excited to have you here to help, talk to us about that today and tell the people like what do you do, and where can they follow you at, first of all?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I am actually a mom empowerment coach and I'm also a motivational speaker. And what I do is I empower busy moms to take charge of their emotional health, build confidence, and transform their mindset so they can live a more happy and fulfilling life. That is like super important to me. And we'll get into it as a little bit more and how I was pushed into this purpose through my story. But everyone can find me at Stacey S. Crawley on Facebook, YouTube, as well as Instagram. So, yeah.
So you said something. You said mom empowerment coach. Break that down for us because I hear that and I'm like, yes, mom, yep, that empowerment, yep, need coach, help me out.
You had me at emotional health. I made that one.
Right. So break that down, mom empowerment coach, because I haven't heard that one before.
Right.
I've heard a life coach. I
Women
haven't heard.
empowerment.
Yeah, I haven't heard
Mom.
mom empowerment coach. So tell us, what does that mean?
Yeah, so essentially I am a life coach. I'm a certified life coach actually. And so empowerment coaching is actually a subset, a niche under life coaching. So if you think about it, life coaching is like the umbrella, then you have so many different things like, relationship coaching, empowerment coaching, and so forth. And so empowerment coaching is more so empowering you, giving you the opportunity, giving you the permission and the authority, empowering you with that to live your best life, to take away the obstacles, to take away anything that's keeping you stuck in your motherhood journey, in your life, in your relationship, your marriage, just taking those things away so that you can be the very best version of yourself that you can possibly be. I believe that all women, everyone of course, but all women, all mothers have a destiny and a purpose beyond our roles as moms and wives. And so I decided to work specifically with moms because of my own story and how I believe that, we have so much and we have so many things that keep us stuck, keep us from really getting to that place of purpose and really serving in the capacity in which we were created to be. And so that's what it is. I'm empowering you to just live your best life, to live like God created you to be.
So I love that. And I wanted to get a little bit deeper into that because how do you know if you need a life coach? What's the difference between being a life coach and a therapist? Like, when do I know if I need both? Or, do I pick and choose, So
Yeah.
how can someone know what that is and what they need?
Yeah, so a life coach is someone who's going to help you with your goals. Anything that you have in terms of your goals, whether it is emotional, physical, I mean, you have fitness coaches and so forth, but a life coach is someone who's going to help you to get to the place where you want to be. They're going to sit with you and they're going to figure out where you are, where you want to go, and how to bridge that gap to get to where you want to be. So if you want to be a happier mom, if you want to be more fulfilled, they're going to take you through those steps to get there. Now, I will say, it really depends on the life coach, but some life coaches help you with releasing different things from your past, because as you work with the life coach, depends on if they're more surface or not. I like to go deep with my clients. I like to really dig deep and think about their pathology and what drives their behavior and where they are now. And so for me, sometimes we tend to uncover those childhood traumas. We tend to uncover those things that are, things that we brought into our adulthood that we necessarily maybe thought that we kept in the back of our minds or just kind of buried deep. And so that's where the life coaching comes in. Now, a therapist is someone who's going to diagnose you with the depression, the anxiety, the fear. They're going to sit with you and they're going to really dig deep even further than what a life coach is going to do in terms of your mental health, in terms of your emotional health. They're going to take it a little bit deeper and they can diagnose you with different things and dig deeper in that way. And they kind of look backward. Now, a life coach's perspective is to look forward. They may find those things, right, that you may need to dive deeper into, but the therapist is going to look backward. They're going to figure out like what's really going on, and the life coach is going to help you to look forward. And to me personally, I think that it's really beneficial for a mom to have both, honestly, because you're digging deep into like that life coach is going to help you to come to those triggers and find those things. And then you can take that stuff right to the therapist and they can help you to sort that out. And then your life coach is helping you to move forward and really building that future that you really want and desire.
I love that.
Yeah, that made a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, you do need both. And I'm always saying, like, this is something I love saying, but I'm just like, we spend our whole adult life trying to get over what happened to us as a kid,
Yes, absolutely.
And those, generational curses, as people like to call them. And so I think, it's important that there are people like you that are helping people to move forward, move past those sorts of things. So I love to hear about that. So how does one become, how did you become, a mom empowerment coach?
I would just say, first of all, it came from my story.
Let's hear
the
story, sis.
Okay, so my story is, all right, so let me just kind of take it back. When I was 12 years old, ladies, like I knew from that point that I was going to be some sort of motivational speaker, some sort of a coach. Like I had spoke that into existence when I was 12. And I was going to be an author. So that book will be coming in 2021. All right, so look out for that. But so I know for me, when I went through my own story of postpartum depression and that, I don't know, do you guys want me to get into the story now or do we want to
get into it? That's what
let's get into it. All right. All right. So I have 4 kids. I guess I didn't say it in the beginning, but I have 4 little kids. They're all under the age of 8. I have a 7 4-year-old as well as 2-year-old twins. Okay. I've been married for 11 years.
I said a prayer for you in my mind.
About 3 of them.
And so I have been married 11 years. I work as an accountant during the day, and I'm a mom empowerment coach and speaker after hours. Okay. So I'm building my business and eventually trying to leave my full time so I can do this, my purpose full time. Okay. So I would say maybe I'll kind of stick to the most current situation. I went through postpartum depression with my first daughter. And I think that was more so because I was a new mom. And so I Googled everything, right? And so I had people in my ear, you need to do this, do that, do this. And so I'm a new mom. I don't know what to do. And so that kind of drove me into a space of like depression. It was like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. Like it's just too much. And then my husband and I kind of got into it. We were butting heads. I mean, it was really bad. And we actually separated when my daughter was 7 months. She was 7 or 8 months. We separated. And that was a very tough time for me. So you can imagine, I have this new baby. I moved out and we are going at it. And I'm living with my mom, who at the time that I felt was judging every single thing that I did because, she thought she knew what was best, right? For the way that I was raising my daughter. And so I went through pure hell. I'll just say that. We ended up reconciling, having, of course, 3 more babies. And so we got to a place where everything was good. And then, of course, we had the twins. And so I'll say like, what was it? About 1.5 years ago, that's when I really, really acknowledged that it was going on. I realized I was like, okay, I'm not feeling like myself. I feel like it was like an out of body experience. Like I'm normally naturally calm and patient, But guys, like I was yelling at my kids at the top of my lungs. Every single thing that they did, it bothered the heck out of me. I mean, it was like every single thing that everybody did bothered me because things weren't sitting well with me, and I didn't know how to communicate what was going on inside of me. I couldn't pinpoint that. I just didn't feel like myself. I felt hopeless. I felt suicidal. I didn't want to be here anymore. I felt like, me going on this roller coaster of yelling at them, being mad at them, and then turn around and have the mom guilt and then apologize and then turn around and do the exact thing the next day. I got to a point where I was like, you know what? Maybe they need a better mom. Maybe if I wasn't around, maybe they would have a better shot at, not having to be in therapy 30 years from now because of my own hormonal imbalance. Like it was that bad. I felt like this is it. I felt like hopeless, frustrated. I mean, it was just like I was suffering. I mean, completely suffering every single day. And when my husband went back to work, because he did 3 months off with me for maternity leave, when he went back to work, that's when it really got bad. Because I'm sitting here by myself with two babies, right? And still having to parent two other like toddlers at the same time, and just trying to figure out how to make that work and still be a wife and still be, everything to everybody but myself. And I would look on Facebook and Instagram, guys, and I would like scroll and I'd be like, oh my gosh, she's the perfect mom. She's doing so much better than me. Look at me sitting here and how dare I even feel guilty about not wanting to be here to be a mom for these girls when I prayed for these babies. When I prayed to be a mother. It took us 4 years to have my first daughter because of infertility. So how dare I even have that feeling, right? So even the shame came about. So I had the guilt, the shame, the anger, and the frustration all in one. So you can imagine like every day was like hell for me. Just stepping my foot out the bed was just like, all right, so we're gonna do this again today. All right. So like I had no joy. Going through the motions, right? So I get past that and I go to my doctor after my husband came to me and he was like, listen, something needs to change. I was standing in the kitchen. I was washing dishes. I was crying in the kitchen to myself because I didn't want anybody to see me. And I had vomit all over me. My daughters, I just got the twins down. My oldest two kids, they were just playing in the back. And my husband called me in the living room and he said, listen, I love you so much, but this isn't working. Something needs to change. I want my wife back and the kids need their mom back. And who this person is I'm looking at right now is not you. And at that point, I realized just how bad it had gotten. I realized just how bad I had created a toxic environment for my household. And it was no fault of my own because it was a hormonal imbalance that I did not, like I didn't know. And let me back up. Even before that, I forgot to tell you guys that 2 weeks after me having the babies, I had to go in the hospital for 4 days. So imagine having babies and then you're being ripped away from them because your blood pressure is so high that you almost died. I had postpartum preeclampsia. So going through all of that, I went to therapy as my husband advised me. I did a momcation, which is what my therapist advised. And I sat in that hotel room by myself for a weekend. And I sat there and I said, all right, something's going to change. And it has to start with me. So I took that time to myself. I went to a doctor, my OBGYN, and he said, I can't believe you've been suffering for almost a year. You've been suffering and you didn't have to.
And I think a lot of that comes from, how we were raised. It's just kind of like, you feel like, oh, this is just part of it. I'll get over it. And then you just think this is something all moms go through and you're not realizing that it may be something medical that is wrong with you. And we're just kind of like, well, no, or you're too ashamed to tell somebody that this is like, how am I going to sit in this doctor's office and tell them all these things? Like, it's shameful. It's like you feel shamed,
But your doctor hit the nail on the head, though. You were suffering and you didn't have to.
Exactly.
That's the key. We don't have to. That's what a lot of us have yet to accept or discover. We don't have to. Especially,
You know, when they give you that 6-week checkup and they give you that list, you know, that list that they give you, those questions that they ask you, like how you're feeling. And you get that feeling like, if I say how I'm really feeling, like, are they going to whisk me away? Like,
take my
you know?
kids away from me.
Yeah.
So I didn't say much at the 6-week checkup. And I guess I was so occupied with my other kids that it didn't matter to me. You know what I mean? But he told me, he said, well, I want you to go on medication. Now, let me tell you guys, I stared at him for a straight 15 seconds. And I was like, you want me to do what?
Right.
So I had to, like, my husband convinced me to take the medication because I was like, you know, in our culture, it's like medication. Like, no, I can do this. I'm super mom. Like, I'm a strong Black woman, you know, like I can do this.
So you can mentally pull yourself up out of it. You know what I mean? So I definitely can relate to that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I eventually started taking a medication, and I didn't tell anyone about it. The only person I knew about it was my husband, because of how I felt behind it, you know? And so I said, okay, I just have to do what I have to do that's going to get my family back together. That's going to get me back on a good track. And so I had to put my pride to the side and take it. Right. And so once I took it, it took maybe about 3 weeks to really kick in. And from that point, it just kind of evened me out. It made me feel like myself again, but I still had to do the work to, like, really get into a good space. So I had to start listening to like motivational videos, and I had to start looking at listening to like gospel songs and things that's going to make me vibrate higher. You know what I'm saying? And through that point, like, I actually started my business. And that's when I say I was pushed into my purpose. My pain pushed me into my purpose, because I sat there one day after, maybe a month or two after, and I said, you know what? There are a lot of moms out here who may be going through this stress, this overwhelm, who may be going through these things. And why not? Yeah. Why not it be me? You know, because I believe that a lot of times when we go through things, it happens to us, but it's not for us. Yeah. It's for somebody else that's going to come along, that's going to have a similar experience, and we're there to be the light for them, you know?
Mm-hmm. And you know, what is very true is, because a lot of moms are going through this, they're going through it in silence. And a lot of times, what we see is a lot of times a facade, because you'll get online and you're like, oh, when you have a baby, it's supposed to be the happiest moment of my life. Everything's supposed to be, you know, sunshine and rainbows. And then, you know, God forbid, like what you said, if you had infertility issues and then you finally get a baby, and then, you know, you're feeling bad, you're feeling down about it. And so, you know, that does come with shame. You feel like, what's wrong with me? Like, you know, I see all these people online, they look like they're living their best life with these kids, you know, they're mommy influencers, and they got these beautiful pictures and these videos.
Beat, hair,
yeah, you're like, hello, how did I mess up? Where did I go wrong? You know, so I think that's like really, really powerful. And I think, you know, a lot of times your purpose can come from pain. So I think that that's a great story. You need to tell it everywhere you go. Right. I love that.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I think that it's so important for us to remember that we're all purpose with something. And I think a lot of times our purpose is jaded, it's cloudy, and we don't have the clarity around it because we have so many things in our way, so many obstacles that are keeping us from that thing that we were actually created to be here for, you know? And so I tell my friends a lot of times is that I call them disruptions in life. I think disruptions that we have in life tend to push us, you know, toward the thing that we're actually supposed to be doing. And I call this a disruption in my life, but it was to sharpen me, you know, to get me ready for the next. So, yeah.
Yeah. And then I think like a lot of us mothers, we feel like, or we let society convince us that our purpose was to be a mother.
Yes.
And that may not be our purpose. That was a role we were supposed to play, and we're grateful for it. But we get stuck in that societal purpose and forget to be or walk in the purpose that was actually destined for us. So we're so focused on being a mother and drained, and we let that just be it. We sit in our feelings and in our, being overwhelmed, and don't strive to be who we are or who we're purposed to be outside of a mother.
And let me tell you something. I have the best husband, father, anybody can ask for. He don't get no daddy guilt.
Right. They don't.
He's like, what's that? I'm experiencing mom guilt. Like, I just feel like I'm not doing enough. Like, I'm not good enough. Like, and he'll just be like, I just can't understand that. He's like, I'm like, you don't ever feel like you're not doing enough or you could be doing better as a father. He was like, absolutely not. He was like, I'm killing it.
Yeah, Dad don't put that pressure on them. The kids don't put that pressure on them. Society don't put that pressure on them.
Yeah, he's like, I'm killing it. I'm like, you know what?
And they do be killing it.
And they do. And we be killing it too.
We do,
and why do we feel
let
like it's not enough?
We let ourselves believe otherwise. Because dads don't go on social media and be like, look at Jay-Z.
They don't compare themselves.
No, they don't.
They're doing better as a father than me. Like, I don't know why you do that.
I mean, and then just
get us a mom empowerment coach, because I just don't know why we all do that,
Yeah.
I mean, and just think about it. We're carrying so many we wear so many different hats. I mean, I feel like guys they're one-dimensional, and I feel like women are multi-dimensional. I see it that way. I mean, dads can be amazing at what they do, but they are in that lane at that specific time. We're all over the place. I mean, we are doing this, we're doing that, we're doing this, and even in doing all of that, we still, for some reason, feel like I'm not doing enough. It's like, I never understood that, but it's what it is. And I think that's also but that's also part of the reason. That's what I coach my clients on as well, is that you have to get to a place where you say, listen, I'm the stuff. And what I'm doing, like, that's where the building that confidence piece comes in. That's where transforming that mindset comes in, because it starts with your mindset. You know what I mean? Like, your perception is what guides your behavior. So if you are constantly thinking and having that negative self-talk telling you you're not enough, you're not, doing enough, that's how you're going to operate. That's how your aura and your energy is going to be,
And that's why I agree with you that counseling, along with life coaching, is how you achieve true healing. Because, like you said, the therapy deals with the past, the life coaching is going to get you to your future, but together is how you become or get to your best self.
Yeah.
And that's we take that load of shame and guilt off our shoulders and sit it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not ours to carry. Like you said, we are the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
We are.
So let me ask you, in your opinion, when do you feel like, you know what, I need to get some medication for this? Or when you just feel like I just need to talk to somebody? How can someone tell?
Or do you let the therapist tell you? Do you just go and see what they say?
I think for me, it's best to start with the therapist, because they can hear trigger words. They can hear certain things in your language, how you're speaking, what you're saying. They can hear things behind the words that you're actually saying. And so they can let you know whether or not just the therapy alone will be sufficient, or if you need to layer on some medication to kind of stabilize you so that you can actually participate in a more cognitive way in the therapy itself. Because sometimes if postpartum depression is untreated or is so severe, you could be at a place where you're not functioning properly. You're not even thinking clearly, and everything is just, the hormones are just taking over everything, your feelings, your emotions, and everything. So I say start with a therapist and let them let you know, or even your OBGYN, when you go talk to them for your checkups, let them know how you're feeling, and they can tell you, which way to go in terms of just therapy or both.
I'm glad we're having this conversation because
it's necessary.
I think it's going to help a lot of women because, it is hard after you have a baby because it is such a life-changing moment for you. It's a great moment for you, but we can't forget that it is life-changing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that life-changing isn't always positive for everybody. It's like, whoa. And then you throw in the external forces, people around you saying things, telling you how to do things. No, don't do this, all this. And then, that messes with your psyche. And then, you get to the doctor and it's like, how can I possibly tell this doctor? Like, I'm not happy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm supposed to be happy.
Especially
I'm a mother.
The greatest gift. You got a baby. And it's like on top of life changing.
And you wanted it too. You wanted this.
Yes.
You got it. And now you're not happy about it. So you feel ungrateful. Like there's so many women that, and then you feel like, oh.
And then you got a whole nother life that you're responsible for. You ain't even got your own life together. And you got to take care of this life and make sure their life is together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is.
So I mean, your story is so relatable, and I feel that every mom can relate to some aspects of your story.
Absolutely. And I feel like even you just sharing this is empowering. Like it gives other mothers who are suffering in silence the knowledge to
all you need is somebody else to relate to somebody else, and you like, okay. She on the other side of it. I mean, I can get on the other side of this too. So, hope. Let me go talk to somebody about this.
Let me do something about it. Because suffering is unnecessary. You don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
So what are some tips? If you're just, because I have anxiety really bad. I just worry. I just worry about worrying. And I know in my mind, I'm like, you're worrying about nothing. Like it's, you're worrying about something that hasn't even happened yet. That's probably not even going to happen.
Yeah.
And, I've kind of wrestled with, maybe I need to get on medication for this. Maybe, and so if I didn't want to go to medication route, what would be some tips that you'd have for me to just, cope with my anxiety or, something that might help?
Yeah, I actually didn't even mention that I actually went through the postpartum anxiety too. A lot of people don't talk about that. They talk about the depression piece, but the anxiety, postpartum anxiety is actually a thing as well. So the anxiety, the anxiety makes you feel like you have to do something. It has to be done. You're worrying. And then the depression makes you feel like you don't want to do anything. So your body is like working against itself, right? So in terms of you don't want to do the medication route, which I highly recommend for anyone to do. But if you don't, I would say start with self-care. Start with finding something that grounds you, something that's going to bring you into a space of mindfulness. And for me, meditation has been one of those things. Like when you really sit down and you center yourself, you can start to get to a place of just like being more centered, more mindful of like your thoughts. And so it helps you to kind of grab those thoughts when they come and just let them bounce off, because the anxiety is like, has your mind constantly racing. And if you're more grounded, it helps you out a lot more. And then when you're taking care of yourself and you're doing something that you love to do outside of being a mom, a wife, a partner, it helps you to get to like, oh my gosh, I have my own space. I'm holding space for me, and it has nothing to do with anybody else. And so it helps you to get back to that place of happiness and joy. And it helps you to kind of take your mind off of the external things that are going on around you that keep you in a space of the anxiousness, because I think a lot of times, because we don't really have anything for ourselves, and we lose ourselves most times in motherhood, we focus on those things. And I know for me, I suffer with anxiety as well. And so even aside from the postpartum depression and all of that, mine came about from childhood, but it also kind of it kind of elevated when I had kids, because I'm constantly worrying about my kids. And whether, especially in the world that we live in today, I'm constantly worrying and thinking. And it's just like, one, I pray a lot. I don't know about anybody's religious affiliation, but I pray a whole lot. And that helps me so much. Praying, meditating, doing self-care, and trying to keep myself sane with doing something I love, which is my business. That helps my anxiety so much. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, those are some great things. Yeah.
Thank you.
But you empower me to, make that doctor's appointment and be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm tired. I'm tired of worrying. I'm tired of anxiety.
We're not about to suffer.
Right. I don't
anymore.
have to suffer through it all night. I can just let me go get checked out and see what's going on.
Yeah, like do that. And even when you do it, it's just going to even you out and even your mood, but you're still going to have to do those other things to make
it's not gonna cure it.
Right.
Yeah, it's not going to cure it. It's just going to stabilize you, and it's going to reduce the because I know you probably, and you let me know, you feel that anxiousness in your body too, don't you? You feel it in your body. Yeah. And so when you manifest it in your mind and you feel that, and it holds space in your body. So it's going to relieve that stuff it's going to make you feel like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders. And so with you doing that, and then layering on that self-care and layering on that mindfulness and that meditation, that prayer and all that, you're just setting yourself up for an amazing transformation for yourself. So it's a win-win to me.
Absolutely.
Yes. Girl, I'm about to run to the doctor. Right, are they hello, Dr. Phil? Yeah. Yeah, that just sounded amazing, right? Like
I feel that. Yes, that's a thing. Yeah. I can feel relief.
Yeah. And then what too, like the anxiety, yes, you're worrying about your kids too, but just worrying about yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, how am I going to get to where I need to get to while having to be a mom and all this sort of thing like that? And then you feel bad because it's like, you don't want to blame your kids. Like, you don't want to feel like, well, my kid might be holding me back, because it's not the truth. It's just like, you just want to feel like you can handle it all. You know what I mean? You want to feel like you can handle it all, even though it's like sometimes you can't, but you want to feel like you can, because it's like, why can't I? Like, why would I be given all this if I can't handle it all?
We carry that was given to us back way with the ancestors. Like, we're just supposed to be super moms, super women. The Black woman is supposed to take it all and smile.
Yeah. And then we're always trying to hide, because I don't know about y'all, but I go to the shower to cry just so I could just cry alone. I don't want nobody else to know I'm in there crying. You know what I mean? Or I'm in the driveway crying before I come in the house. You know what I mean? So I think it's important that we talk about this and a lot more, because I think what we do see, makes us feel like we're alone, because it feels like everybody else is like killing it together. Yeah, they just got it all together.
So Stacey, we are glad that you found your purpose, because your purpose has definitely empowered us, and I'm quite sure it will empower millions of others.
Yes.
Because this is a necessary conversation. Life coaching and therapy are necessary tools for us as mothers, as women, as humans.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let us know where, let our viewers know, like, where can they, hire you if they want to.
Yeah, how do they?
Yeah, definitely. So if they go to my website, which is www.stacey, and that's STACY, S as in Carl, and then let me start. So it's Stacey with no E, so StaceySCrawley.com. And when they go there, they can go to my Work With Me page, and we can get it done. They can even go to make it easier. They can go to my Instagram at Stacey S. Crawley and book a call with me from the link in bio. And so that's how they can find me and work with me. And what I love to do is get on a call with people just to see where they are. I love to talk to people just to see if we're a great fit for each other and, go from there. So, yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Stacey. We have definitely learned a lot today.
Yes.
We have learned that we all need a life coach, a therapist, medication.
Yes.
Like,
it works.
We need it. There's no shame in it. If you want all three at the same damn time, there is no shame in it. Hallelujah.
Okay.
So yes, we really appreciate you coming here. Make sure you guys follow us we're on all social media channels at Black Mother Talk. Stacey, we're definitely gonna have you come back because
I love it. Thank you, ladies. I really appreciate you.
Yes, we need you on our panel of experts. So
Absolutely.
we're definitely gonna have you come back, and we just really appreciate you sharing your story with us and sharing your journey. And we can't wait to get that book in 2021.
Okay.
Yes, Lord. Let's
I know there's some more layers and there's some more chapters, girl, and we cannot wait to read it. All right, now we gotta go be mommies. Stacey got 4 of them. She ain't got time to be talking to us all day.
Right? Don't take care of them, baby.
Yes. And we will see you all back here next week on Black Mother Talk.